Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. It's the end of the month, so it's time for my monthly wrap-up and October preview coming up. So I hope you had a great month of September reading. I know I certainly did, and I look forward to telling you all about it. So stay tuned. That's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Hey, it's Drew from Drew's Book Reviews. Let's talk about September reading. Let's talk about what I'm reading right now, and let's talk about what I plan to get to in the month of October for my October TBR. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, follow me down in the Discord, join me over on Discord. We could have a great chat about books and TV shows and movies and all kinds of great stuff there on the Discord. The link for that will be below. Also join me on my bookstagram. I'll have that linked below as well. So as usual, we're going to talk about how I went this month with my reading in the channel and all that great stuff. We had a lot of fun this month, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So let's start with where I'm at with my Goodreads challenge. So I'd set a challenge for 75 books this year for my Goodreads challenge. I'm still looking a bit behind the goal. I'm sitting at 47 of 75 books so far this year. But, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can beat that by the end of the year. Wish me luck. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm currently sitting at 47 of 75 reads for the year. So that's an achievable goal, I think, but you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it this year, but hey, that's totally okay, and that is totally fine. Absolutely no problem with that. I look forward to seeing how I can push myself to meet that goal. So what else do we have happen this month on the channel? Well, you know, we had a great live stream just on the 26th with the back to school book tag. So of course it is September. Kids are going back to school, both, you know, grade school, university, that kind of stuff. And I thought it would be great to have the book tag live stream for the back to school book tag with a bunch of other awesome people. So check that out. That'll be in the links below, and I'll try and put that in the cards as well. That was fun. Just overall, just a fun experience. Who doesn't love chatting about books? I know I certainly do. That's why I've got this channel, right? Why else would I have it? I love talking about my books. It's just something I love. So the back to school book tag with a bunch of other awesome content creators, that'll be linked in the cards and well is in the description below. So make sure that you check that out. That was a lot of fun, as it always is when I do live streams. So let's talk about what did I read in the month of September. As usual, this list of books is not going to be in any specific or particular order, but, you know, definitely just what did I read in September. So, of course, I did start off September with Edgar Allan Poe, as I have been every month this year, with the Year of the Poe here on the channel. So Edgar Allan Poe, Loss of Breath was the key story this month for me from this collected works, which was absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen my review on that, definitely go check it out. Edgar Allan Poe definitely can be absolutely hilarious when he wants to be, and I did find him to be very, very funny with his story, Loss of Breath. I thought it was really just a fantastic story, hilarious story, fun and entertaining all around, so definitely check that out. My review on that, I will link that below as well if you haven't checked it out already. Loss of Breath from Edgar Allan Poe's collected stories was definitely my favorite read from Poe this month. I also finished up a reread with the Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. So this is the third book in the first Mistborn trilogy. I'm really enjoying going back and rereading this series. It had been quite a while since I read it, and I'm really looking forward to continuing on with the second trilogy coming up a little bit later on. I'll get to that eventually, but I've actually started to reread on another series, which I'll get to in a few minutes. But I finished up Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson on the reread for this month. Love the Mistborn. It's a great series, part of the greater Cosmere, and Brandon Sanderson is just a phenomenal writer, and I absolutely love it. Probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite, currently active living writer today. So, Hero of Ages, third book in the Mistborn trilogy, fantastic read, as it always is with Brandon Sanderson. I'd also, I started this one at the end of last month, but finished it early this month. This is House of Chains by Steven Erikson from Malazan Book of the Fall. And again, you can probably check out my review on this on the channel. I'll try to remember to link that below as well. And overall, it's a deep story. There's so much to this. I'm torn as to whether I like it, love it, hate it, or both, who knows, but I'm not stopping. I'm keeping on reading the series. I do want to power through and get through the entire book series, although I am spacing several months between reads with Malazan Book of the Fallen, just because there is so much to this series. It is just so much involved that it can be hard to follow, so I need a breather between them, which is actually why I started reading the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, which brings us to the next one, Men at Arms. This was a hilarious read, fantastic read. It is the second book in the Watch series within the greater Discworld. It is absolutely hilarious. Men at Arms is fantastically funny in so many different ways, and it really was a fantastic book. Definitely encourage you to check out my review on that. Actually did a dual review for Men at Arms as well as Richard Dawkins' The Selfish Gene. Thought I'd try the whole dual review, really, because I didn't have a whole lot to say about The Selfish Gene, so I didn't want to make like a 3-minute video on The Selfish Gene, so I just kind of put it into one. But yeah, we've got Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett, fantastic book. I highly recommend you check it out if you have not already. And The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. Really just an absolutely funny and hilarious book is Men at Arms. Not so much Selfish Gene. Men at Arms is hilarious. Selfish Gene was kind of okay. But anyway, check these ones out. I've got review for that, a dual review for both these books on the channel. Men at Arms definitely better than The Selfish Gene by a long shot. Honestly, it really is. And I just finished up Babylon's Ashes. I expect this review to be out by Friday this week, which I think is October 1st. So I expect this review to be posted on Friday. So definitely, hit that bell notification if you want to know when this review goes live. So Babylon's Ashes is the 6th book in James S.A. Corey's The Expanse series. This is a sci-fi series I am absolutely loving. So good in every way. The Expanse by James S.A. Corey, just a phenomenal book series. If you haven't picked it up, what are you waiting for? Like, seriously, go check this out. It's going to be awesome for you. If you love science fiction, I love it. This is by far becoming one of my favorite science fiction series I have ever read. Just fantastic, so check it out. James S.A. Corey's The Expanse, Babylon's Ashes. I finished up book number 6. Stay tuned for my review. That will be dropping shortly. So definitely make sure that you check that out. So that kind of brings us, so that's what I read in the month of September, which brings us to what am I reading right now? So what I'm reading right now is I did start a reread of another series, The Shadow Campaigns by Django Wexler. I haven't quite finished reading the series as a whole yet, so I wanted to go back to the beginning of the series and do a reread on that so that I could refamiliarize myself with what's happened in the first couple of books before I finish the last 2 in this 5-book series. So I started rereading with The Thousand Names by Django Wexler. So this is a military fantasy in a desert setting. With magic there's definitely magic in this world, but it's kind of more of a background thing, not the primary focus of the story. And it is a military desert fantasy. It's got guns and whatnot in it as well, so it's kind of that Napoleonic era type feel to it as far as the technology level and the overall military feel to it. So there's 1,000 Names by Django Wexler. I'm definitely enjoying this series. The Shadow Campaigns overall is a good series. So it's got like that hidden magic type thing going on in the background, and there's these magical elements that influence the story, but they're not like up front and center as the whole story as a whole. But yeah, so if you like military fantasy, if you like desert warfare, if you like that Napoleonic flintlock military fantasy with a desert setting, this is probably a good series for you. The Shadow Campaigns by Django Wexler, that is what I'm reading right now, and I expect I will finish this up in early October. Which brings us to the next book that I am currently reading is Terry Goodkind's Heart of Black Ice. So this is from the Nikki Chronicles from the Sword of Truth world by Terry Goodkind. This is a book series or a world that I've absolutely loved. Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth was really the first major epic fantasy series that I had ever read. And I absolutely fell in love with epic fantasy when I read Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth world. So Heart of Black Ice is part of the Nikki Chronicles, which is like another series within the series, which has series within series and the whole world. But anyway, the Nikki Chronicles is the final book in this series of Sword of Truth, or in this sub-series of Sword of Truth from the Sword of Truth world by Terry Goodkind. Now, Terry Goodkind has passed on. He is no longer with us, so he's not writing anymore. I don't expect to see any further books by Terry Goodkind due to that. So this will probably be the last Terry Goodkind book I honestly ever read for the first time. I hope to get back to the beginning of Sword of Truth world at some point down the road. I don't know exactly when I'll get to that yet. But I do hope to do a reread on Sword of Truth. But yeah, right now I am working on Heart of Black Ice, Sister of Darkness, The Nikki Chronicles Volume 4. So definitely stay tuned if you want to see my review on this. Stay tuned, hit that notification button so that you know when I post my review on that book. Alright, so that brings us to what are my plans for October? Well, first of all, we're going to be having a live stream on October 17th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk about the Foundation TV series with Bookish Chaz. I'll link his channel below, so make sure that you tune in and join us for that live stream. I've already put up a video on Foundation, my initial thoughts on the TV series. You can check that out, I'll have that link below. But also Bookish Chaz will be joining me on that live stream so that we could talk about it and just, you know, kind of hang out and discuss Foundation. We're both fans of the books, and we're both enjoying the TV show. So make sure that you swing by the channel on October 17th at 4 p.m. Pacific, where we will be discussing the Foundation TV series. I really look forward to that, and that should be fun. I'm hoping that once the first season is over, we'll be able to do a bit of a hangout, another one, just kind of discuss the first season as a whole. I'm not sure if that'll be on his channel or my channel, not determined yet, but yeah, that'll be fun. So definitely make sure that you do swing by and check that out. So that's one of my plans for the month of October, and I'm really looking forward to doing that, and happy to have Bookish Chaz on with me here on the channel. So that leads us into what are my planned reads for the month of October. As always, we are going to be discussing more Edgar Allan Poe, as this is the year of the Poe on the channel, so we've got several stories to read over in the month of October. Which one's going to stand out to me, I don't know yet. But on the list this month for Edgar Allan Poe stories, we actually have quite a few. We've got Maslow's Chess Player, The Power of Words, The Colloquy of Manos and Una, The Conversation of Eros and Carmien, Shadow, a Parable, Philosophy of Furniture, which sounds like it might be another satire by Edgar Allan Poe, A Tale of Jerusalem, Sphinx, Hop Frog, The Man of the Crowd, and Never Bet the Devil Your Head. Just from the title, Never Bet the Devil Your Head, I think I'm looking forward to that one the most. I wonder if it'll turn out to be another comedy by Edgar Allan Poe like Loss of Breath was. Who knows, but Never Bet the Devil Your Head, that just sounds really cool. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing how that story turns out. I have an inkling that might be my favorite Poe read for the month of October. But we'll see. Of course, October, what a great month to read Edgar Allan Poe, with it being Halloween month and all that good stuff. But anyway, those are the Poe stories that it looks like I have on my reading schedule for the month of October. Now, as always, I'm also trying to read at least one nonfiction book per month. So the nonfiction book that I have on my TBR pile for the month of October is Livewired, The Inside Story of the Ever-Changing Brain by David Eagleman. So this will be interesting. I've really loved those books about space and quantum mechanics and physics, and I've kind of wanted to try to expand my reading repertoire for nonfiction a little bit and kind of take a look at some other interesting things about the world in which we live. So the brain is definitely a fascinating organ, I guess, as we really don't understand the brain or how it works that effectively. So I thought picking up a story on the brain, the inside the world, the ever-changing brain, might be an interesting read. I've heard David Eagleman is a really good writer, and he's got some good stuff as far as this particular subject goes, so I thought I'd pick it up and give it a try. And we'll see if I do end up liking this book and how that will play out in the end. So yeah, really interested in taking a look into this. I've always kind of been fascinated about how the mind works, so it'll be interesting to see how this book explains these concepts and what it's really all about, and I really look forward to checking that out. So definitely stay tuned for that if you do have an interest in the more of the nonfiction area. Of course, with that, continuing on with my Terry Pratchett monthly read, I'll be picking up Soul Music by Terry Pratchett, the next book in the Discworld series. Now, if you've been following along this channel, you know I've been reading Discworld each and every month, and I'm finding it absolutely hilarious and fantastic and wonderful. Soul Music, I believe this is another book from the Death series of Discworld. Death is one of the best characters in this whole series, in my humble opinion. And Soul Music, it just... Death and Soul Music, you know there's going to be a play on words in that somehow with Terry Pratchett, because that's just how Terry Pratchett does it. He's always kind of mixing things up like that and kind of play on words, and he's got that really humorous streak to it. So I really look forward to seeing how Soul Music plays out and what it's really all about. And of course we got this Death guy with the Grim Reaper thing going on here, so I know this is going to be, anytime Death is involved, it's an absolutely hilarious read. So I have no doubt this is going to be funny, as it always is with Terry Pratchett's books. So next up on the list we have Book 7 of The Expanse, Persepolis Rising. So as always, I've been saying The Expanse is a fantastic book series, and I'm really looking forward to getting to it and finishing off this series, which I should have completely read by the end of the year. So I'll be picking up Book 7 of The Expanse, Persepolis Rising. This is such a good series, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Can't wait to see how the next plot point evolves. The last book, as I mentioned in my review, or which you'll see in my review when it's released on Friday, really I felt like wraps up one story arc and sets up the next one. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this evolves and how this story progresses into the next story arc of The Expanse. Fantastic book series, highly recommend it. Do check it out if you haven't already. Great read all around. And finally, and I know a lot of people on BookTube are going to be very happy about this because BookTube has been talking about this series for a long time, and it's been hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped. I am picking up some Joe Abercrombie. I will be starting The Blade Itself. Joe Abercrombie, The Blade Itself, First Law World, I believe as it's referred to, and I have heard so much hype about this world and these books. I am starting in on the first trilogy in the First Law. I'm pretty sure this is the first trilogy in the First Law of The Blade Itself, and I'm looking forward to getting on to reading this because it is always super exciting when something is hyped so much, and I just hope it lives up to that expectation for me. I did read his Shattered Sea series, and it was okay, it was alright. I read that quite a while ago, and from what I gathered from what I've been hearing, Joe Abercrombie has only gotten so much better since then. So I really look forward to seeing if this book really does live up to the hype that has been hyped like crazy. So Joe Abercrombie, The Blade Itself, that is coming up on my TBR pile for the month of October as I start this series. And with the first trilogy, hopefully I can finish that probably by January, because I think I've got one more book in Malazan scheduled for this year, so I'll probably finish up this series in January, but I'm starting it in the month of October. So if you want to see my thoughts on The Blade Itself, make sure you hit that bell notification button. Anyway, so there you have it. There is my to be read for the month of October. There is what I read in the month of September. Just some things coming up on the channel as well for the month of October. And, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And, I love talking about these books. I love sharing it with you. And thank you so much for watching. I absolutely do appreciate it. And, I hope you've had a great month of September reading. I hope you have a great month of October reading as well. And I look forward to continuing to share my thoughts on all of these books with you as we go through. And we're getting to the last quarter of the year. So it'll be fun to see how the whole year wraps up by the end of the year. I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope that you are too. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join me down on the Discord. I'll have that link below so you can check that out as well. And join me over on my bookstagram. On the Discord, we can have a great chat about all these books and so many others. So join me over there. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, as always, keep on reading. Bye!